Oh, hi everybody. This is Marshall Studios production here. Marshall Studios production, known as Marshall Athena 98 for MV Studios production here, was taped in front of a live audience tonight. Tonight's video, I'm going to be doing a video on my bright blue Bissell 9 amp soft bag upright vacuum cleaner. And I remember growing up with these type of vacuums. If I ever find a black Bissell Microlock 7 stages with the 10 amp motor with the wide track, and I love older Bissells. Older Bissell vacuums are the best machines to have for my whole life. It never gets old for me. It never gets boring for me at all. I love 90s Bissells and the early 2000s version styles. And I remember I was born in 1998 when this machine came out. This is a Blue Bissell 9 amp upright vacuum. And they start making these in the year 1996 for the first time. I remember they do last for a very long time if you keep it in brand new condition. You can still buy leather soft bags on eBay. And getting to remember, I actually put duct tape on that whole part because it's for protection. And that machine can be really loud on the floors during those times. And I remember thrift stores actually had a lot of vintage vacuums on the floors. Like any vintage Bissells. If I ever find a Blue Bissell 10 amp upright vacuum cleaner at the thrift store or something, I'll let you know. If I ever find 3 or 4 vacuums, I'll let you know, okay? Guys, I'll never forget this vacuum came out in the late 90s. This is a Alco's brand. During the 90s, Target actually did have a bright red Bissell soft bag like this machine. It looks like this machine right here. It was a 10 amp wide track version to this machine, and I remember they had a red version to it. It was a Target special edition one or a limited edition one. They had this machines during in the late 90s and early 2000s. And they took them off the shelf in the year 2001 or 2002, I believe. And they sell these vacuum cleaners throughout the 1996 until 1999, or could it be 2000? And they first originated these in the year 96, or could it be 97? In 1997, they came out with the Blue Bissell 10 amp version. And I remember growing up with these type of machines because growing up with these old vacuums, it never gets old for me. But anyway, I remember growing up with these old Bissells and I remember Kevin Love, Classic Vacuum Cleaner Factory, actually did talk about these machines, and I remembered when he admitted there is a bright red Bissell Y-Track soft bag special edition version they used to sell at Target during in the late 90s. I remember he talked about it, he admitted about it, and he really found out they had it in red. And those were really, really hard to find. And I want to make sure I'm going to run this vacuum cleaner. I want to make sure it's not that badly loud, okay? Yeah, this machine needs to have a belt to be changed up. If I wanted to change the belt out, let me know. I got an extra belt right here. I haven't been doing it since 2022. The last time I changed the belt was back in 2022 on this machine when I first bought it at Bargain's Thrift Store. Instead of me talking, I'm gonna run this for fun or do it for content. Okay, here we go. Well, it's pretty loud, you guys. And by the way, older Bissells are mostly kind of loud. And they're born that way. They're made that way during in the late 90s. And this is made by Ryobi. And I remember these vacuums were made by Ryobi because they made the best vacuum cleaners at all times in the 90s. And I really like their Ryobi brand because I remember my grandma used to have a Red Singer vacuum. I used to be afraid of vacuums when I was a little boy. I used to be afraid of that Red Singer vacuum. Every time when my grandma had to use that vacuum to vacuuming up all the pet hair off the rug. When I got afraid of it one time, when I was afraid of it before, I remember when I started shaking and crying and being scared of that vacuum, and I ran outside. I was scared of it. I was afraid of it. And I remember I used to be afraid of vacuums when I was younger. But not anymore. But I remember growing up with older vintage vacuums. And I grew up with the vintage ones I really do grew up with. And I really grew up with the classic ones from the 90s. It never gets old for me. Well, everybody, make sure you click thumbs up and hit subscribe. Click down below what you like to see for a new video. And I'll see you then. Bye!